Right, on to ask us anything. At James the Hoover asked, would you rather be a top player with a ruined reputation or an average player with a great reputation? Hashtag mention no name. Now, I do think he may be talking about Fabian Delph there. He sort of ruined his reputation.
No, why not? Why would he be talking about him?
Well, I don't know.
So cynical, Les.
I know, I am. But, he's actually gone above and beyond all our expectations by being an even bigger plum than we thought he was, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We think it possible, but he has. So, Adam, we'll come to you first on this.
I think you'd have to be an average player with a good reputation. It's like one of them. If you get one or two in your career, that feeling and just stay with you forever, and all the fans absolutely love you. There's nothing worse than, having a player you just like, you're going about your business every day and everyone hates you, and your business is probably not as good as it should be. You could be a great player. It doesn't matter how good you are. If people think you're a knobhead, then it's pointless. Whereas there's just players who have played for Everton or played for many teams over the years who aren't the best, but they have those moments that stick with them forever, and they've scored or they've won something. Or I think Duncan Ferguson comes to mind for me. I think he's a pretty average footballer when he was even at the peak of his career. Yeah. He was absolutely loved because he was just one of a kind. And then he'll have those moments where, scoring against United or scoring on his final game, and everyone absolutely loves him, and he's working for Everton now somehow. I think I'd go with average with a good reputation.
Yeah, sounds sensible option, I think, now. Foxy?
Yeah, I was trying to think who there would be, so with a ruined reputation. So I kind of went for Ryan Giggs. Would you want to be Ryan Giggs, one of the greatest players ever to come out of Wales, probably his great player for United, did everything. Not doing so well now, really. So him or Seamus Coleman, average player, great reputation, top bloke, I'd go for Coleman every time.
Yeah.
I think, and just that stability, normalness, nice guy, good person, good human being. Sounds decent to me.
Honestly, I suppose all this about Giggs just came out after his career as well, didn't it?
Yeah. Do we have to say allegedly? Is that okay?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
So I suppose you're quite lucky in that regard, because I don't reckon he just turned into it. I mean, he may have done, but I don't reckon you just turn into a dickhead once your career stops.
No, I imagine you.
Yeah,
if you're a bit about that
footballer.
Yeah, just guarded very well by the club and the manager and all that type of thing.
Yeah. Allegedly. What you doing?
Well, I mean, we're all good lads, aren't we? We've all this is how we all judge each other, because we've all come out with the similar thing. We'd rather be average but have decent reputations. That says a lot about us, really, doesn't it? But then, just thinking about it when you were all talking then, I think the elite mentality of some of these players are just, I do not care as long as I am the best, and I'll be selfish because I want to win. And unfortunately, that's what wins players trophies, by having that sort of ruthlessness, if you like. But yeah, no, definitely, I'd rather be an average player with a decent reputation. And alluding to a little bit what Adam said there about a type of average players, I just think it's Dennis Chakwalesi, because I mean, he's like cult hero. I don't even think he was average. I don't even think he was that great. But if you talk to any Evertonian, they just talk about him fondly because of how hard he worked. He ran through a brick wall. How he scored against Chelsea, I'll never know. And even that was just a dodgy, palm off Peter Cech, wasn't it? But yeah, when I think of that, I think he could walk into any pub along County Road, Chakwalesi, and he'll get mobbed, and he'd be a hero. And he wasn't very good. But that's. I'd rather have that. I know I'd rather have that than be amazing and not be able to walk into the brick or the Black Horse or something. So.
This is the thing I always think about when people say about the toxic atmosphere at Goodison and how it affects players' performances and that. We're really not difficult to please. If a player plums off for a game, we're happy. We will not apportion any blame to a player who has tried his best. He might be shite and he might get a bit of stick for being rubbish, but if he's tried his hardest, he'll get a pass all the time. So we're really not. We're pretty basic in that regard.
Well, even Nias had a little bit of that to him, because people turned around in the end and went, you know what? He might be garbage, but he's worked his arse off for Everton. So he's kind of got a free pass as well.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yeah, we need better players.
There's a fine line between like being a laughing stock and being a bit of a cult hero. And I think the likes of Nias and Strakulis, he probably like very often crossed that line. And it was like at the point where like, how is this fella here? How is he here to then like Petr Cech jumping out the way of your right-footed absolute pansy shot that's like cutting the grass, and you're a hero, you win the game. Like I sometimes think to myself, like, this isn't real. Like the actual like way that a footballer becomes a footballer is not off merit. Some people just like the likes of Apostolos Velios. Has he got 5-10 goals for Everton? Maybe he was so bad, so bad. But you just find yourself at a position where you can become a hero or just become an absolute joke. And we've had many of them down the years, like both, actually. But usually they're a bit of both.
Yeah, it is a very, very fine line. And talking about that sort of that attitude, one where it's like, I'm in it for me and I just want to do the best for me. If you're not a footballer, you just end up being a hated middle manager, don't you? It's like, if you're a footballer, that can carry you through. In any other profession, everyone just thinks you're a tit and you're probably in middle management for the deal.
Yeah.
Some people say it about like Boris Johnson, don't they? Like, oh, he's funny though, isn't he? And you go like, nah. People go like, yeah, but he's like a laugh and that, and you go like, yeah, but that's not his frigging job. It's not meant to be funny. Like football, at the end of the day, is entertainment, and if they're half shite but they score every so often, you'll probably take it. In a couple of years, he'll be gone, and he hasn't absolutely ruined the country.
Yeah, so. I think as well, if you find the idea of someone who bends £50 notes in front of homeless people funny, you should probably have a rethink of what you think is funny. Yeah. Let's not go into that anymore. We'll get complaints. People don't like it when we go into politics.
Fuck them. Let's have a good political chat now and again.
Yeah. Joe has asked, going off Delph, going full tinfoil hat, what Everton player did you actively hate when he was still at the club? This was a really difficult one for me because I can't think of many players who have really, really hated. Foxy?
It's a bit like we were saying just now that we've had a lot of bad players. A lot of players haven't been good enough. They run about and some of them try, some of them don't. But I never really blame the players. I blame the manager. So I've had two managers I can remember who I've got to the point of hating. One of them was Smith back in 2002, the Middlesbrough game. And before that, it was just 7 defenders on the... Yeah, he got my tits. Then Allardyce. I couldn't stand Allardyce. Some of it for the football, some of it for who he was as a person. Like that game against Southampton when Davis scored the deflected goal. That's about the only time we're not celebrated an Everton goal. I just not bothered.
And it was a last-minute equaliser.
Yeah, was it last home game of the season?
Last game of the season, yeah.
It just not bothered. It just completely turned me off from it. So not players so much, but managers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shout. That was the Allardyce effect, wasn't it? You completely anaesthetised us to any sort of enjoyment.
And partly it was the football, and partly it was just the stuff he would come out with, and you just bad.
I got to that point with Martinez, and I still mentally dislike him.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Warren?
Well, this wasn't easy for. This wasn't difficult for me at all, because I couldn't stand Kevin Morales. I couldn't stand them. I remember going to Swansea away, and we'd left because like Norwich and the Welsh games, the Swansea especially, just awkward to get to, just an awkward place to get to. So we'd left stupid o'clock in the morning, and I drove. This was one of the occasions when I actually drove for once. And we're in the car, and we parked in Cardiff, and the Rugby World Cup was on at the time. So we've had a bit of stress parking and all that. And then we get to Swansea, and it's not the greatest of games. We could have maybe nicked it. He brings Morales on. I think it was Martinez at the time, brings Morales on. And I think 10 minutes in, he got sent off. And I'm looking all around me, and he's getting, never mind, Kev, lads, never. Like, what are you applauding him for? He's just got sent off. We could win this game. And he was one of them players for me. He was talked up as being potentially really great, and I just thought he was not. And I just wanted him out in the end. And I thought we'd seen the last of signing bang average players, and then here we go in the Walsh and Koeman, and we signed more of them, but this time on even more higher wages. So, but you touched on there, Les. I think we are easily pleased, and I think one of the things we've got as Everton is we're desperate for players, even if they're not great. We're desperate for players to succeed, and I think Moise Keane's having a bit of this at the minute. If he stays, everyone's desperate for him to do well, and I just personally, it's got to the point now where it'll never work for him in an Everton shirt. He might go somewhere else and be a superstar, but it's just not worked for him at Everton. But there's people who are willing to constantly give him a chance. We had it with Jelavic, we had it with, to a degree, with Nias as well. We want to give these players an opportunity. We're not a very hating, and even when players leave, we do sort of wish them well in the main, unless they've left in acrimonious circumstances.
Unless the Nick Barmby.
Yeah, unless the Barmby or Xavier, yeah, stuff like that. But very rarely do we don't wish a player all the best, and we welcome them back and stuff like that. Yeah, Morales, I couldn't stand him from about a year after he signed. I just thought, I don't see the appeal.
Yeah. Adam, any advance on the Belgian beagry?
I'm the same way inclined, really, in regards to, like, the players seem to get a bit of a free pass. I was the same as you, Les. I remember 4-0 at Anfield. I don't like scream or like shout at the game very often. And I remember walking down those stairs and I was like screaming at him to get out of the club. Like, get out of our club. I went the game on my own, actually. I can't remember why. I just got one ticket and just went, and I must have been a couple of 100 meters from Anfield, and I had another go in, and I just thought, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, what am I doing here? What am I doing? So I'd probably go, but then again, like, now I think he wanted the best. He was just totally out of his depth, I think, at that part of his career. Another one that really annoyed me, and I think it was because I was a little bit younger, I think Royston Drenthe. It's in that train down to Wembley. It'll always be a story that sticks in my mind, because we always felt we would have won that with him. Probably wouldn't have, because he wasn't that good. I remember him scoring. I went down to Crystal Palace and saw him score there. He scored like a breakaway goal at home at one point as well, and scored a couple of rockets. Like, but it was just one of those players that, like, he could not care less about Everton Football Club. Wouldn't probably care less about football in general, actually. And he slipped down the ranks pretty quickly, didn't he? So yeah, I think he's probably of a similar ilk to the likes of Morales. It was like, you haven't bought into this, have you? So you're probably not going to be very successful with the Everton fans. But another one, going off that saying I don't know many players like that.
Got a list.
He's like that with
yeah, I'll bring them all back now. Theo Walcott sounds to me. I didn't hate him, I never hated him. He was just one of the most frustrating players ever, because you think, like, you don't know what you're doing here. You're just fast. You just know how to run. But the Watford goal will always give him a free pass. Like, it doesn't matter what he does in his previous however many games, where he seemed to not, like, want to score sometimes. He just went, like, I've been taught how to, like, use the inside of my foot and hit it towards the goal, and that's what I'm just going to do every single time. He'd go clean through a goal and he'd go, missing here, and he just miss. I think there was one where, I can't remember, it was at home one time, he just got put through, he's absolutely clean through. He just didn't want to score, didn't want to celebrate, or have people, like, jump on him and touch his Swede or something. Like, it was that type of fella. He absolutely, like, hated the camera on him, but then at the same time he loved it. So I'll probably have Drenthe up there. But yeah, I'm in the same vein of managers just infuriate me, and Roberto Martinez.
Yeah.
At that moment in my life, if I was close enough to him, probably would have swung for him. Like.
And the most annoying thing for me was Martinez with that team. He pretty much had everything you could want. That team had a little bit of everything there, and he balls it up. And if just on Drenthe, if the stories are true of why he missed that train, I can fully understand why he missed that train.
Got a degree of respect for him.
Yeah. Swings and roundabouts, innit? Laura's asked, have you bought one of the new Everton bucket hats yet? If not, why not? Warren?
Well, this is why I started wearing this. But for those who are listening, I've got an old school Everton bucket hat, but it won't go over my headphones, so that's why I've taken it off. Yeah, I'm like you, Les. I'm prone to a bucket hat now and again. And the new ones that I like, I love the third kit bucket hat one. It looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one that I'm considering buying. But in the main, yeah, no, a good bucket hat, especially this time of year, weather's out, can't beat it. So yeah, no, I'll be looking to get it. And Laura, yeah, I apologise, I haven't got it yet, but I will be looking into it. Don't you worry.
The weather. The best thing about the weather at the minute, it's short and cool weather. So I can walk around looking like a big meth like Liam Gallagher, and I'm quite happy. Foxy?
I've never had a bucket hat. I think I've only ever had 2 hats, both like baseball caps. Never had a bucket hat.
Not really a hat man?
Not massively. I think there's a bit of a cultural kind of north-south thing where down south bucket hats. I was thinking about mates. Probably think about this question way too much. None of my mates have got one either. And it's not a popular fashion item, but like Liverpool, Manchester way, further north, I think it's more into music and kind of links into that. But never have one. So yeah. No.
You gonna break your duck at one of these Everton ones, or leave it to us Northerners?
Leave it to you Northerners.
I will give a full bucket hat report today if you have got what I'm not expecting as well. Adam?
I'm gonna go with no. I used to like a fisher or like a bucket hat back when I was like, I don't know, stoner or something. Something is me not fully committing to that in case my dad listens. And I'm more of a baseball cap. I hate saying baseball cap. I love a cap. As I would never really buy an Everton cap because I like to buy the cap that we like, the team that we play against. So Mainz, for example, I
remember, yeah.
Get myself a Mainz cap. Went to Leverkusen with my Bears a couple of years ago. Leverkusen won. I couldn't get a Premier League one because that's a bit overkill. Because then I'd find myself stood at the game going like, why have I got a City cap on here when I'm playing? That once wore a French Connection t-shirt in the Euros when we were playing France years ago, and he got absolutely terrored for it. He's just thrown it off and not realised. That's anything to do with anything, but I wouldn't go for a bucket hat now. I do like a cap if my hair, or if I'm like, nipping the shop or hungover, I'll just throw a cap on. But yeah, I can't see myself. I do like them. I think they look good. I'm just more of a cap man. I'm not an Everton branded one.
I was going to say, that hair is too good to hide under a hat anyway.
You know what, Les? This is fresh out the shower, and you should see it when I'm fresh out of bed, because it is not.
I would kill a man for hair like that,
This is the chat we've come for. Fresh out of bed hair. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. It's the best. Mine didn't look like this, whatever. Just on the hat thing, right? The wearing another team's hat. That's what I'm like with half and half scarves. I have no issue. In fact, I do actively buy half and half scarves from European games because I've generally got no beef with that club we're playing. You don't play them all the time. There's no rivalry there. I think half and half from European games are fine.
I've got a half and half scarf from when we played Stevenage in the FA Cup and when we played Scunthorpe in the 5th round about 10 years ago. And no issue at all with them, because I think we're not going to play them every season. Yeah, and it's like a little, and like same with European games, you're not playing them all the time. It's nice to wear a little bit of the other team's branding, if you like. But yeah, I think agree with Adam, it's too far when you get it like Premier League teams.
Not into that.
No, I'm not a massive fan of the half and half. I think if you go like a European away and you swap the scarf with the other fans, I think that's quite cool.
I'm too busy fighting with them.
I've got an AEK Athens scarf at home here, and it's just like, was walking past. It was only a young lad. I think he's probably about my age at the time.
You nicked it, didn't you?
I've still got the Everton scarf.
Yeah.
Did any of you go to Wolfsburg when we had them?
Yeah.
You went. Do you know what? You couldn't move for Evertonians wearing, because it's freezing, the coldest game I've ever been to, that you couldn't move for Evertonians wearing a Wolfsburg green woolly hat. They were everywhere, and I've never seen so much branding of another club on Evertonians ever. But that was a sin of the chip. Everyone was just buying up hats, scarves, the lot from Wolfsburg. It was just green everywhere.
I think that's I think that could be like a Scouts thing, mate, because a lot of my red mates do that all the time when they go to like the European aways. They buy the club they're playing. So I think it's probably just to prove that they actually went half the time. But like, I see loads of I think there's a few clubs who are like up there. So Atletico Madrid, you always see a load of them. You see a load of Ajax. You see a load of like another few teams. So I think they're like transitioning from the away colours of a football team into like a fashion.
Yeah.
So like Atletico Madrid, you see all around town all the time, and does that come from actually going to watch the game? I think most of them probably bought it off like the Nike website or something. But I have like trackies, so I'll buy like like Barca trackies or something else trackies and wear them for like the gym or whatever. So I think it's probably like cool. PSG is massive now. PSG, everyone has like PSG tops, and I think it's probably not to do with the footy. I think it's probably think we look good.
Tops are PSG tops. They're really good. And if you want training gear from other football teams around Europe, M&M Sports is your friend, isn't it?
Correct.
Definitely.
Got me Real Betis polo shirt off there. Tenner, brilliant.
It's great, isn't it? There's some proper off the wall stuff. You're like, I'm into 1860 Munich. I'll have one. But yeah, I think there's definitely something about going to a European away and rinsing the club shop. It's kind of like there's nothing wrong with doing that. Definitely not.
Especially if the team you're playing and not as an established club as like a Madrid team or a Bayern so if it's someone like an AEK or a Wolfsburg who maybe you don't come across or maybe not in Europe every year, to get their gear is it's great. And like I had the same thing when I went up to watch Hibs. Like I bought a couple of t-shirts and I just think no one else I know has got down here the Hibs t-shirt or the Hibs trackie or whatever. And it's that thing of wearing something that's a bit different that not everyone's got.
Definitely. I think you're right. Yeah. Had we been playing at Bayern Munich, the away end wouldn't have been full of Bayern Munich hats. No way. But Wolfsburg it was. Because that team, Bayern Munich wouldn't. Yeah.
I did that thing as well when I went to Barcelona, where it's Barcelona kits everywhere. So me being the Evertonian and me, I'm going to buy an Espanyol shirt and I'm going to wear it on Las Ramblas.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do. I've told you a story, I imagine, Les. I told you a story when we were there, actually, of in Mainz, where like me and my dad would go into the game and there's a fella in like an Everton vest. And it's like Keyshan, or I don't know what it was. Got an Everton vest on, an Everton hat. He's got like the Everton crest with the number 9 in it tattooed. And I'm walking towards him with a Mainz hat on, and he starts speaking to me in German, asking me where the stadium is. And I go like, what are you on about, mate? And he goes, are you not a Mainz fan? And I'm going like, nah, I'm an Everton fan. He's going like, why head to toe and Everton gear on? I was like,
so I don't like him very much.
That's it. Ended up like spending the rest of the day with us, whether we wanted to or not. He was a bit of a strange bloke.
I remember him well.
Yeah, he was a top fella.
Yeah. Yeah, we did the same thing in Barcelona, mate. We went to the Barcelona stadium tour, which was shite, like Disneyland. It was packed. It was like queuing for a ride, but you never got a ride at the end of it because it was just toe to toe all the way around.
Yeah.
And we went to Espanyol and we were running a bit late, so we phoned up the ground and they actually held the tour for us. There was only about 20 people on it. They held it for 10 minutes. And it was kind of like, that's the sort of what Everton would do. You'd expect the Anfield tour, just absolutely chocker and mayhem. The Everton tour would be a little bit more personal. And we all just were banging to Espanyol, and the kids bought loads of Espanyol gear. He wanted to wear it to Barcelona, to the new camp tour, but I wouldn't let them. I drew the line there. Kids for that. I don't want to be that person with 2 lads in Espanyol tops. But yeah, we hate Barcelona, love Espanyol now. We like
same.
All the worst teams in Europe. Like we'll follow Mainz now in Germany just because we went there.
Yeah. And you do that thing as well in other cities. Like whoever is seen as the not as fashionable team in that city, right? I'm there. I want them to win then.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's the Evertonian in us.
Because we never want to be happy, do we? That's basically what it is. Last question from Tarago Dave. What defines a successful season for the Blues? Some red hot soccer chat to finish here. Foxy, what do you reckon?
That's what I'm here for. Red hot soccer chat.
Exactly.
So what did we finish last season? 10th? 10th season before.
The lowest position we've been all season.
Yeah.
Last day.
I think if we're 10th, it's probably a bad season. If we're 8th, it's a good season. If we're 6th, it's very exceptional. If you top 4 are top 4, amount of money they're spending. So I think we've got no chance. And then you've got the likes of Spurs and Arsenal, random, don't know what they're going to do. Leicester probably going to be quite good. Villa spending lots of money, we're going to lose Grealish. Leicester spending some money, they're going to be good. So top 8, top 9 is pretty hard to get into. So I think if we get top 8, it's good. Top 6, exceptional. transition season. It's boring, isn't it? Kind of saying all these like buzz football words, transition season, Benitez building the squad, getting rid of some of the high earners, like French players, moving them on. Yeah, top 8 would be good, I think.
Do you think we need to reset our expectations finally this season?
I've never had very high ones, so I don't know. But I think the stuff that Mashiri comes out with, and he's talking about us being top 4, a million miles away from that. Even us being top 6, getting European football, which has been our ambition for ages, that's going to be a massive challenge to do it. So, yeah, maybe Mashiri needs to reset his expectations of what's doable for this bunch of players.
What about cups?
4th round would be nice. Benitez is good in cups, isn't he? So, no, Warren's. Don't know if Benitez wins a cup, do we get more aboard the Rafa train?
Oh God, we named a new ground after him if he wins a cup. That's how it goes.
Rafa.
I'm all for naming a new ground after Jordan Pickford. After Van Dijk's outburst on social media this week about
what did he do?
He's basically he's putting all these dead profound tweets up about this journey he's had over the last 12 months, and I'm thankful for all the people around me. It's like, mate, you did your knee.
It's not the first
and
time.
Loads of footballers have done that and been out for a season. Get a grip, will you? It's like they want to keep this story going and rumbling on until next season, undoubtedly until the next derby, because they're still pissed off that they brought him back from Dubai for his big celebration against Pickford and he fucked it. So, there you go. I'll stop now. It's too early on a Saturday morning for this sort of vitriol. Adam, what's a good season for the Toffees?
I think this is so bad, isn't it? I just think getting back to a couple of aways with the boys and winning a handful of them at some point will be a good season. A season of actual like footballing accolades is something that I don't think we're going to get anywhere near. Just not having Sam Allardyce being mentioned as an Everton manager before the end of the season will be a success for me, because that means that we've done okay. Because if it gets to Christmas time and people are going Allardyce or Moyes after he's been sacked from West Ham in October, maybe. I think that will be a success. If we still have Benitez at the end of the season, I think we'll have done relatively well, if not really well. So, yeah, just getting back to the game, getting on a coach at 6:30 in the morning and having a warm can of Sutton shite is what I'm looking forward to again, because I have missed it, and we've all missed it, I think, in regards to just not even caring about those 90 minutes, just getting on the bus, getting on the train, walking down to the grounds and scoring in a full capacity stadium. Even better when it's not your own stadium. I cannot wait that split second between the ball going in and the Everton fans realising that it's gone in, because it's always a delayed, and it sounds amazing at Goodison when you hear the away fans do it and you just go mad and it goes like goal, and then you see it like there's a few, so the likes of Arsenal, because last time I went, we're down the other end. Sometimes you don't realise it's gone in, and then it goes in and it's just mad. Because we never score a goal that like you think is going to go in. We always score by accident. So scoring by accident and celebrating an away goal a couple of times this season is something that I'll class as a success.
Yeah. That is a great shout. Yeah, it was like that down at West Ham. I think we scored down the other end from the away end and you couldn't really see. And then, the distant sound of the away fans celebrating is the worst sound in football.
Yeah.
When you're in it, it's amazing.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Richarlison away at Wolves in his first game, the second one, where he like cuts inside and it just went mad. And I've missed that massively. Like,
was everyone behind that? Because the away end's on the side of Wolves, isn't it?
Yeah, we were like here.
So he cut in from that side, didn't he?
Because he's hit it and it looks like it's gone so wide that, and you go like, oh my God, he's actually good. He's actually good. That was it for a couple of games, and afterwards just like mad. And that's why I go. I just go for those moments.
Yeah, bang into that, mate. Warren?
I think when you said, Les, is this the season where we finally lower our expectations? I think if all we're looking for out of the season is a warm can of shite, then
I wish you could use that as the title, you know.
Then I think that we'll have a good season if that's what we're looking for. Now, I 7th for me would be unbelievable because that would maybe probably qualifies for Europe. I think that would be an unbelievable season. I think this is probably the time where it will be a bit of a reset and we need to get rid of because they're already saying this week, haven't they, about how we've got to get some of the higher earners out the club. I think once that goes and it will just be reset, I think we'll have a very functional side for 2 or 3 years, anything between 12th and 8th. And then I think that'll be then the time where he might put his hand in his pocket, new stadium, and then we might go for it again. But I think this will probably be a 2 or 3 years, I think maybe now, of just a bit like what Moyes had, where it was just continual. If Benitez stays that long, whether or not he does is another factor altogether. But I think probably what they're looking for now is this, what Moyes did, where it was just this gradual build and signing 1 or 2 players a season or just improve in certain positions. And then hopefully we have a few good games along the way, beat a few top sides along the way. That'd be nice. And like Adam said, just having a few nice away days here and there, getting on a train. I think that's probably the best we can hope for. I don't want to sound defeatist, but that's probably where we're at, sadly, at the minute. I think when we had Carlo, we were just sort of like, we almost thought we're guaranteed trophies here because of the manager he is. And then we've just been brought back down to earth a little bit. And we probably realised, actually, even with someone like Ancelotti, the side wasn't as good as we all thought it was. And yeah, just the reset. But if you said to me now, 9th place with maybe a semi-final in one of the cups, that'd do me. And I know that's horrible to say because we should have higher expectations, but sadly, that's where we are now as a club, and we've just got to ride it out and see anything other than that's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it's about progress this season. I mean, there's not much to build on from last season. As you say, if we do finish 9th or 8th, that's been a relatively good season. I think for me, just to get into Europe any way possible, that's pretty much all I want from the season. It'd be lovely to win something, but I think just to get into Europe for next season, for everything that gives the club, and especially the fans, for the prospect of at least one European away, that's all we can ask. The conference, bring it on.
Yeah.
Anything we'll do like that. That's it for this week, lads. Nice one for that. Cheers, Foxy. Cheers, Adam. Cheers, Warren. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.